Hi, it's Hilary Duff from the Art Block, and today we're going to be making scones. And make sure you wash your hands well before you start. So you're going to preheat your oven to 200 if you've got a fan, gas mark 7. The first thing you need to do is grease your baking trays or whatever you'll be using. I've got some spray oil, but you can just use a little bit of butter and rub it on with a kitchen towel. Take your flour and you're going to stir in sugar you have and the extra baking powder and just combine them. Okay, so the butter you have, make sure you've chopped it into some small cubes and empty it into your flour mixture. You need to combine your flour mixture with your butter, so you can use your fingers and, like you're making breadcrumbs for a crumble, if you've ever done that, just squash it together lightly. Okay, so when you've got all of the butter incorporated, it will feel like a little bit like sand. Okay, so you need to make your wet mixture now. So you're going to crack 2 eggs into a measuring jug, if you have one. And then you're going to whisk them up a little bit. And then pour in milk so you get to 300 millilitres. And give it another mix. So you want to combine your wet with your dry now. I used a knife to start off, and you may not need it all, so do a little bit at a time until it comes together to form a dough. Till it all comes together in a ball like this. So you need to roll them out now. So if you've got a table without a cloth on it, use that. If not, you need some form of a board that you can flour. And just sprinkle it with flour quite liberally. And if you're using a rolling pin, flour that too. You don't have to use a rolling pin, you can just press it down with your hands. Okay, so turn your dough, which may be quite sticky, onto the board and try not to handle it too much. So more press it down, do not knead it. Okay, you're going to roll it out now quite gently until it's about an inch thick. About an inch. Is it?
Yeah, it looks good.
So you're going to cut your scones out now. I've got a cookie cutter or a scone cutter. If you don't have this, you can use a glass, but I suggest give it a little dunk in flour just before each one. It will help it not stick. So we're now putting our cut out scones onto our pre-greased baking trays. Leave a little gap between each one. So the last thing you're going to do is put a little bit, brush some milk on top of each scone. If you don't have a pastry brush, you can just use some clean fingers. And for an extra little crunch, put some sugar just sprinkled on top of the milk. We're just going to put them into our preheated oven. And we're going to set our timer for 12 minutes. So they've had 12 minutes and they're nice and golden brown. We can take our scones out, let them cool, and then you can eat them with some jam or whatever you like. Enjoy!